So, Ashley, tell me why you first got into this industry.
When you talk about parking, it sounds quite dull, but actually it's part of transportation. And because there is a revenue generating element, it's a really, really interesting space to be in. Because, you know, in terms of technology, there are lots of things that you can do to improve people's lives. And as it's a revenue generating business, it's kind of spend to save, if that makes sense.
If you could do another job for just one day, what would you choose?
To do another job for just one day. I think it would be quite interesting, probably quite stressful to be a prime minister in the UK at the moment. I think that would be quite an interesting job to take on just for one day. It'd be great because it would just be for one day.
But when you normally start your day, what's the very first thing that you do?
The very first thing I do every day is to do a to-do list, because that just keeps me focused. So I've seen Michael Jackson, Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac, just everything. But the first concert I ever went to was a jazz funk band called Level 42. And I went to see them at the Colston Hall in Bristol.
If you were forced to sing at karaoke, what song would you pick?
If I was forced to sing at karaoke, I have a very funny story about karaoke because I do actually sing. So I do a bit of opera and I've done a lot of theatre, and I would probably sing an Ella Fitzgerald song because I love jazz and I love Ella Fitzgerald as my favourite ever female singer. But I once got asked to a karaoke event probably about 30 years ago now, and a lot of friends, because they knew I sang, wanted me to sing, but because people were drinking, because we were having a meal and there was drink and everything like that going on, I was quite reluctant. But anyway, they eventually persuaded me to get up to sing, and then they couldn't get me off.
Now that Modaxo is here and Imperial is part of Modaxo, what gets you really excited about that?
I'm just excited about the ways that we can work together as a team, as a family. And I think there's a very interesting story there. So I'm working quite close with the Modaxo family at the moment, and we're looking at the whole concept of clean air zones and the fact that there is a big educational piece to kind of help local authorities and kind of the private sector as well. Because with COVID, you know, in terms of public transportation, it's kind of gone back 3 decades. And there's going to be that whole kind of story educational piece about how we get people back onto public transport. And parking is part of that. Clean air zones are part of that, because we're very involved at the moment with some of the big clean air projects in the UK. And I think there's the big educational piece there, which is what we're looking at with the family, to say, you know, you're coming into a city, you know, yes, you can drive in, but actually, have you thought about your options? And given those options, how does that impact your carbon footprint?